Hello everybody, hope you're all okay and welcome to another assembly. And this assembly is all about light. And light's really important, isn't it? Because without light we won't be able to see anything. And if we couldn't see something, we wouldn't even know it was there. I remember one year going on holiday a long time ago, and we arrived to the hotel when it was dark and it was night time, and we couldn't really see out of the window very well, and we went straight to bed very tired. And in the morning I woke up, opened the window, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There was a little harbour down there with boats bobbing up and down, and the sun was shining on it, and it was absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't have even known that was there the night before because there was no light to show me. And I'm going to tell you a story about light now to show how important it is. Once upon a time, there was a king who had two sons. The king knew that eventually the older prince would take his place as king, but he was sure that the younger boy was the wiser of the two. He decided to set the boys a challenge. You are each to take a silver coin, he said. You are to go to the market and buy something that would help you if you were king. Then you're to come back and show me what you've bought. What would you buy? There's no point, said the older boy. I'll be king when the time is right. There's no point in the younger brother doing this task. You may be older and bigger, said the king, but perhaps you will learn that you may not be wiser. You may learn something from your younger brother. I don't think I'll learn anything from him, said the older boy. I wonder how many of you feel like that about younger brothers and sisters. Or maybe you're the younger brother or sister, and your older brother or sister thinks they'll never learn anything from you. The king gave each of the boys a silver coin, and they set off to the market. The elder son walked past the first few stalls. Nothing here that'd help him when he was king. He walked a bit further. He saw stalls selling fruit, vegetables, cakes, shoes, flowers, hats, strings, rabbits, and furniture, cups, saucers, papers, pens. Papers and pens. That was it, he thought. If he was king, he'd have to make laws and rules. He'd have to send messages to his ministers to tell them what to do. He'd have to write everything down so that everybody understood quite clearly what he had decided. So, without any further searching or thought, the elder prince bought as much paper and as many pens, pencils, bottles of ink, and sealing wax as his silver coin would allow. Quite a good idea. He put all of his purchases into a huge bag and set off home again. Meanwhile, the younger prince was walking through the market. He too saw all the stalls of food, meat, sweets, pans, garden tools, fish, books, pots, candles, paper, paint, wheels, everything. He saw what he wanted to buy, but he didn't buy it straight away. He wanted to be sure he'd chosen the right thing, so he walked around the whole market 3 more times, looking at everything on sale. By now, he was sure he'd chosen the right thing. He went to the stall and bought just one. The stall holder wrapped it in tissue paper and gave the prince his change. The prince put his change in his pocket and the small tissue paper parcel in the other. Then he went home. Well, said the king, and what have you bought? Let's see how wise my boys are and what they've bought to help them when they become king. The eldest prince tipped out the contents of his bag onto the floor. I've bought papers and pens, he said. A king needs to order people and make laws. A king would need to write down all the rules. I've bought paper and pens for writing down rules. The second son brought the little parcel out of his pocket and carefully unwrapped it. What do you think it is? It was a candle, a small, slim, white candle. The light of this candle can fill the room, he said. A candle would help me see clearly, and a king needs to be able to see clearly to understand his people. The younger son put his candle in a tiny holder and lit it. The faint flame burnt brightly, and its light shone out. You are a very wise boy, said the king. Your older brother will undoubtedly be king when I'm gone, but you will be his chief advisor and his counselor. You will help him to see clearly. You will help him to use his powers with care and understanding. Perhaps I can learn something from my little brother after all, said the older prince. Many years later, the king died, and the elder son became king in his place. He appointed his younger brother chief advisor, as his father had wanted, and together they ruled the kingdom in a fair and kind way. They both knew now that they could learn from each other. Now, sometimes we can all be a little bit bossy with younger people younger than us. Maybe you're a bit bossy with younger brothers or sisters. But as the story shows, just because we're older than someone doesn't necessarily make us cleverer. And I learn something from all of you all the time. You know, and I'm very old, but I still know that I can learn from you. And I want you to remember that we can always learn from everybody, no matter who they are, and even if they are younger than us. And I want you to remember that. So have a think about that, and think about how light helps us to see all the beautiful things in the world, and helps us to scare away the darkness so that we can feel safe. And I want you to stay safe, and we will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.